doing today? Welcome to another episode of Darkskies podcast. Coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. God, feels good to be back. And we're definitely back. And back to cover Mandela effect, as promised. Also, going to take a look into giants and, the history of giants on this planet. And is there something to it? Never know. Let you be the judge. But for now, we're in full effect. We got it going. I'm just looking through all this paperwork. This is so crazy. So much information, so many things going on in the world. Wow. Well, we're going to get it started. First of all, I'm your host, Elsie Graves. Thank you for getting the connection, baby. Yes, here. Wonderful today. It's a team. We're going to have some good music. Yes. Jenny. But we're having fun today, as usual. All come together to cover these topics. And, of course, Darkskies podcast is a growing podcast. Vastly growing. I want to thank everybody. 5,000 plays in the first 2 seasons. And that's with no advertising, no promotion. It's just the listeners found us and they listened to us and downloaded the show. And that's the reason, we're here again for a season 3. And once again, recording live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. What's up, San Jose? Everybody, thank you for listening all around the world. France, the UK, Germany. What's up, Spain? I like to see all these different countries on my board. Australia. It's just a beautiful thing. It shows me that the world is listening. What's up, Toronto? All the way down to Guatemala. Our friends down in Peru. It's just incredible. Our show has reached so many people and hopefully touched a few lives along the way. And that's why this new season is so important, because we're dumping out a lot of stuff that, we had already moved through. We're expanding on things that we feel is important, to the development of not just the show, but the community. We really delve deep into some of the research that we do. And it's hard to cover everything, but we do cover down there everything. And I guess that's why we do so many shows covering so many different topics, and we have so many different listeners from so many different backgrounds. And, it's incredible. We have technology people, we have the space people, we have the astrology people, we have the numbers people, we have, the political people, the religious people. Everybody's listening. And I like it. I love it. It's a universal podcast. We talk about so many different subjects, so it's understandable to see that we have so many different listeners for so many different, backgrounds, but they all come together, we discuss these topics. I throw them out there, and, I often leave it open. It's not like I did the research and, hey, this is cut and dry. This is what we're going with. This is what we see. This is it. What we see is it. No, I just put the information out there, and I let each and every one of you decide, what you feel. You know what I mean? Now, it's crazy because I've lived on this planet, for 44 years. And that's, I just have to say that it's not much of an accomplishment because you've been living, much longer than me. But I have seen things in my lifetime, and I like to consider myself knowledgeable on certain subjects. And matter of fact, quite a few subjects because, I have an open mind and I enjoy learning. I'm not closed-minded. I don't want to turn my back when it's time to, actually learn. I want to actually be in there seeing what's going on, because I'm a smart man. I know that, how easy things could, go wrong. I've seen things go wrong, right, with my two eyes. So, I try not to let things stress me, but I do try to focus in on the positives, but I'm also aware of the negatives, and I try to learn from my mistakes. And sometimes I, you know, try not to preach, but I do want to, share my knowledge. And I think that's one of the reasons that, I was put in this position. So, but not to ramble too much on, but I just want to let y'all know, kind of the state of the show. And just want to say thank you for the listeners, people who are downloading the podcast, people who are sharing it. And like I said, there's information from all these shows, it's just information. We get it, we research it, we talk about it, you can get it and you can research it and you can talk about it amongst your people. I mean, that's, how information get out. But we're talking the Mandela effect, and it's crazy because the Mandela effect, it's really hard to explain because so many people are experiencing like different aspects of it. And when we're talking Mandela effect, we're talking many different aspects. Now, it's covering so many different areas. Now, first of all, a lot of people understand the Mandela effect because they tie it to Nelson Mandela. And this part in each timeline where, Mandela died in this timeline versus he lived on and became president in other timelines. So, and different people have memories of, different timelines. So it's a clash in memories, I remember him dying. I remember him being alive. So that's where, the topic kind of first started jumping off. And of course, the coin phrase, freedom to brew. I mean, it's a lot going on. I mean, if you just now getting on to this ride, I mean, you getting on to this ride well into the journey. I mean, it's a lot of research that needs to be done if you're just now learning about the Mandela effect. But, it covers so many different areas. And we're talking time and space. We're talking history. We're talking historical events. Historical landmarks have changed. We're talking movies. We're talking lines in movies. We're talking pictures. We're talking logos. We're talking location of our place in the universe, universal location. And we're talking geographical locations of the continents have shifted. We're talking a shift in physical form, the physical body. We're talking changes in personality. We're talking just changes. So when you cover all these different areas, the Bible, words, and everything has just changed. So you're saying, how can I research such a large topic that covers so many different areas? I can hold up the, cereal box and I can say, oh, this box used to say Captain Crunch instead of Cap and Crunch. Matter of fact, Cap and Crunch don't make sense. But at the same time, it makes sense to somebody who's been pouring that into a bowl for their entire life. And it's just been Captain Crunch. So, it's, a dilemma. And you're trying to enlighten people. You're trying to tell people, hey, there's multiple universes or there's multiple timelines and there's so many different things happening and you need to be privy to it. They're kind of, not aware or not even, how do you say, even interested in learning or seeing. And you have to put yourself in their shoes now. If you've been living your life and you never have no type of problems, no type of awareness to anything different than what you have experienced your entire life, then you got somebody walking up and saying, hey man, that bird is flying backwards. It used to fly forward. And you look at them like, the fuck? It's flying the same way it's always been. I've seen it fly. So whatever you see is, I don't know what you're going through, what type of drugs you're on or what you're feeling, and then we had the dilemma, I can't show you something that you've never seen and unwilling to see or incapable of seeing. And at the same time, I can't comprehend what you've always seen, because this is not what I've seen, so it's a disconnect. And you're trying to talk to people, you're trying to help people understand that, hey, South America used to be, thousands of miles, this way. And they're like, well, huh? So it doesn't make sense. It's always been where it is. So it's not as complicated as it is frustrating. Actually it's quite simple, if I have a memory and I've seen things one way, this is my memory. And I try to tell you what I remember. And it doesn't match what you remember. And you experience the exact same thing, except in a different way. Well, I'm not going to be able to change your mind versus you're not even going to be able to change my mind to tell me there's always been that way and that my memory might be wrong. So it's a situation, like I said, it's crazy. It's the only time in human history where everybody's right. Nobody's wrong. So it's incredible. So what does it mean? Does it mean, we have slipped into another dimension and another timeline and another galaxy? I mean, it's quite possible. I mean, when you look at all the evidence and, what does the evidence say and what does it point to? Does it point to, different galaxies, different universes, different timelines? Well, it's possible. I mean, when you look at the history of this planet and you say, oh, well, this planet has giants and the history of giants, and you say, well, what do the giants have to do with the Mandela effect? And I say, well, maybe the fact that they existed, they're in history, there's a history of them existing, seems to be physical evidence of them existing, there seems to be um, evidence of maybe them existing today or maybe existing in the near future. So it's kind of weird. I mean, when you look at it and people are like, what do you mean now? You're on a whole different thing. What do you mean giants? When I say giants and you think about, the story of David and Goliath. Oh, David and Goliath, that's where you're going. Yeah, the history of man, right? The history of man, David and Goliath. What about the days of Noah? There were giants in those days, right? Wasn't that the whole reason for the flood thing? I think. Might be wrong. Because things change, and that's what makes the Mandela effect so frustrating. Because in your mind, you're like, well, I read all these things. I get it in my mind. I know for a fact that I read this and I know what's going on. So this is what's happening. And then boom, it changed. And then you're like, wow, wait a minute. Not right? No, you're not right. Things have changed. So it's crazy, man. So you're looking at it, through your eyes. You're trying to perceive it. And then you're trying to help people perceive what you perceive, even though their perception is completely different, upside down, backwards. Or, you're looking back at yourself in the mirror. So how many of you is it? Can you comprehend, the fact that, there could be unlimited possibilities. And this is just one of many that you, experiencing this effect, may be one of the chosen ones who have actually been chosen to experience this on more of a quantum level. We're going to get into quantum entanglement and all these theories and, what could have caused CERN because, buckle tight. This is a full show and we're really finna get into it. So I'm finna pass it over to Jennifer because, that's why she's here. And I'm finna take a quick smoke break. This is a smoke-friendly building, right? So, thank you for joining us. You're listening to Darkskies podcast. I'm your host, LC Grace. And, hey, this Mandela effect, it's real.
Yo, turn my music up. Up some more. Up some more. Up a little bit more. Mama always told me to be careful who I love, and Daddy always told me make sure he's right. I always had my eyes on this one particular guy. I was too shy, so I decided to write. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. People always say that I play myself with you. They say that you don't even notice me. Maybe when I get the nerve to come to you, promise me that you won't diss me. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it man's come. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write to him, he better get it on time. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss.
You're listening to Darkskies podcast, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Your host, LC Grace. Ah, yes. This just in. Glad you back, LC. Listening to the show. Keep it up. Your last show was awesome. Sound levels was off a little, but it's still good to have you back. Sound levels is off. See, that's Jim's department. You know, I don't do the sound levels. I just speak, do the show. But thanks for listening. This just in. I love the music that y'all play. Different person playing the music. Okay, some songs I love the songs that's played. Of course, it's always background music. Love music. But today, we have been drawn into the Mandela effect conversation. Once again, talking Mandela effect because it's funny. It's some things that we've discovered on this research, this subject. We're talking about it and trying to get the information out and let you determine, where you want to go with this. Now, the Mandela effect affect everybody in different ways. When I say everybody, I mean everybody, because if you're not affected, then to the effect that you're affected. Yeah, I know that's messed up, but it's true. I mean, if you're not affected by the Mandela effect, to the people who are infected, you are infected because your memory don't match theirs, and they're trying to get you to understand that. And it's probably going to be hard for you to understand that because, wow, it's a lot to understand. If you always seen the map and you look at the world map and it doesn't look no different to you, then it's hard for you to comprehend when somebody to tell you you can take a whole continent and move that bad boy way this way and then it's right. And then they be like, huh? What? Nah, man, you tripping. That don't even sound right to me saying it to you if you don't know what I'm saying. That's why I tell people that, man, Mandela effect, it drives a wedge between dimensional beings. In the end, aren't we all just the same? Dimensional travelers. As we travel through this thing called life. It's just some of our lives are a little bit more complicated. Because, hey, we have a past, Skeletons in our closet. Skeletons in our closet. And it's weird because we're trying to get a better understanding. Because that's who we are, right? We're human beings. We want to better understand what's going on around us. We talk about it. We discuss it. Everybody has a theory. What happened? Was the CERN, whipped that new asshole into the new, in the universe and sucked us into a new dimension and, could hold some water, but, just don't answer all the questions, CERN, opening a new dimension and we all falling in. No, why didn't everybody fall in? Some of us. And it just don't answer the questions. If we're here, where's there? And if we're here, who was here before we got here? And it's just, I don't know. it's a situation where if you ask a question, it creates another question, and that question is left unanswered because that question is even more complicated than the question that you just recently asked. Okay, you could be a real smart person or you can be an idiot, but it doesn't take either to really figure out that something, is going on. And when I say going on, I mean, first of all, we noticed the Mandela effect. Okay, something happened, right? That's the whole movie is in. Something happened. Something happened. We're talking about something that happened, right? The Mandela effect happened, right? And then we start, researching the, this is a big project, a big project, huge project, undertaking. You researching so many different topics because you're saying, okay, all these different things change, so I got to be able to research all these different things, all these different topics, all these different things, geographical locations, times and space, timelines, history, now, present, effects. What effects does this have? Why did this change? Bible changes, religion. You got to study all these different things, cosmos, location of space, astrology. All these different things. What does it mean? What does it mean? There's so many different things to study. I mean, it's not just one thing. I can see one thing change. Okay, boom, we just got a new astrology symbol and we all got to figure out why. No, it's way more than that. We're talking Planet X. We're talking, binary solar systems. We're talking so many different things because so many different things are happening. It's way too many different things to just say, okay, I'm going to cover one thing. Time slips. Time slips, okay? It's a time slip. We slipped in time. What? No. It's so many different things, and it can be an information overload. That's why, it's a community of us and we all are researching these different subjects. We all have projects and we're working on them together and we're working on them separately and we're all coming back here and we're discussing it. And it's really important for us to do this because, man, if we don't do this, then a lot of this information becomes lost. It becomes lost in the fray. I mean, you're living right now. This is what we call the speed of life. So whatever happens is happening right now at this moment. But at the same time, you have to understand what happened and what could happen. So we're thinking in so many different realms. Your realm of thinking should be elevated right now because it has to be. You have to be able to see almost on a quantum level. You have to understand that, it's so many different things happening at the same time. You have to be able to take it all in. And you're capable of doing it because that's basically what you were made to do. So it's almost like a car saying, I don't want to drive you downtown. But there's nothing wrong with you. You work. There's nothing wrong with you. So, do what you was made to do. So we research. We ask questions. We ask more questions. Well, like I said, the answers only become more questions, and the questions become more complicated, and it's just, it leads you down such deep. I mean, when I say deep, I mean deep awareness. I mean, you're aware of things on such a level that, it's beyond the way a regular person thinks. So when you start to talk to them, it's beyond their comprehension. And plus, you're just bothering them. I got bills to pay. I got to get to work. I'm late. This or that. But, it's hard to talk quantum physics. It's hard to talk, quantum entanglement. Are we entangled with the quantum version of ourselves that's in a different dimension, and we're experiencing these things on a multi-dimensional, experience. Possible, There's so many different theories when it comes to this Mandela effect and how it affects all of us. I mean, we talked about the giants and we was talking about some of the locations here on the planet. And, when I say locations, I mean ancient structures. And, you past the point of saying who built them. But the whole thing to me was I was looking at a lot of them and I was like, why did they build them so big? I mean, it's like doors that are really big, and it's like, if I walk through that door, I mean, Come on, it don't have to be that big. I'm a pretty big guy, and I don't need the door to be that big. I mean, we're talking huge. I mean, big enough for me. Maybe a giant to walk through. And then people say that, oh, a regular person couldn't move these stones or couldn't place these stones or couldn't have the knowledge. And then, completely disregarding, that, hey, giants have a history in the past. I mean, they said they were here. I mean, it's just weird. And then, I'm looking at the pictures. We did a lot of research, and that's why I say we got to also a separate show on giants where we got the skeletons, and we're looking at the skeletons in the region of the world where perhaps they could have been found. And we're talking Antarctica and some of the stuff that is found there, and what does it mean, and why is it being kept a secret, and it's just so much going on. But one of the things that really grabbed my attention was the Mandela effect. I mean, we was talking the Statue of Liberty and where should it be located versus where it is, and we were talking, the size of the United States and talking the size of Africa, size of Greenland, and it's just a lot. And if you could just take one segment and really just really get into it. You can talk about the new bridges and why does some of these bridges exist and how did they make some of them. And you can look at some of the structures on the planet and like, I don't even remember this being built. I mean, I wish I could have been there or seen, the construction of this. I mean, and I mean a lot of stuff. And I mean, new animals, new insects. I mean, it's amazing. It's like living in an alternate universe, and you just have to learn on the fly. And it's really important for you to take it all in, because if you don't, like I said, you can really suffer. And I don't think we was made to suffer. I think we was made to learn. And all this stuff that's in front of us is an incredible learning opportunity. So the Mandela effect is a learning opportunity. And, Darkskies podcast is one of my tools. I mean, I get a lot of information, from a lot of listeners, a lot of people who downloaded the show, people who I talk to out there in the world, who are interested in this subject, and people who are affected, So it's crazy, just to say, the least. I always say that, that's one of my words, when things just don't make sense to me, it's just crazy. So that's it. But Jennifer waving at me, I guess she wants to play another song, so I'm gonna let her do that because that's what I do. Yeah, you listening to Dark Skies podcast, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. I'm your host, LC Grace. Yes, I'm here, still here.
High volume. that you're fine, wanna know what you got in mind tonight. Got me feeling like Jodeci, girl, I can't leave you alone. Take a shot of this here Patron, and it's gonna be on. VIP then got way too crowded. I'm about to and I'm calling it a night. You should holler at your girl, tell her you're shaking the scene. Pull off peep peep shotgun in the GT with me. She said, oh, I'm ready to ride. Yeah, cause once you get inside, you can't change your mind. Don't mean to sound impatient, but you gotta promise, baby. Oh, tell me again, my baby. Oh, I gotta know, baby. Oh yeah. Tell me again. Make sure you're right. Oh, before we leave. Tell me over and over and over again.
When you break your heart, oh, I take a place when you know. When you cry, try. You try some more. Try some more. We've been through so many ups and downs and in between. If you need more love from me, I'll give you more. Just let me know. Tell somebody. Say the love that you can tell somebody. Give it to nobody. When you love somebody, when you love somebody.
Darkskies podcast from Los Angeles, California. Your host LC Grace, as usual, and I'm right here. Yes. This just in, LC. I've been with my man for 3 years. I don't know if he loves me. Do you think he loves me? Okay. Well, I don't usually get love questions, but do you think he loves me? Well, if he's been with you for 3 years, I would say yes, he loves you. I mean, 'cause if I was with you, you'd be lucky if I could put up with you for even 3 days. Man, I'm just playing. But yeah, somebody with you 3 years, yeah, it's a good chance they like you. Darkskies podcast, growing podcast around the world. First of all, we're having fun doing this. I'm doing this. They keep dragging me in, making me do it. But yeah, we do have fun doing the podcast. And like I said, we are a growing podcast. You can get our stuff on my Facebook page, all my fans, family, LC Grace, with my family, friends, Listen to the show, download the show, Twitter, Trilogy, all my people on Twitter. Download the show, listening to the show. Also, YouTube. We often upload each show on YouTube, and you can also go on YouTube and listen to the show. We're real happy about that. Yes, very good. So we also got the situation clear, and we also enjoy doing this podcast. So we connected as well through Spreaker and as well to the iHeart family. And, you can hear the podcast on iHeart Radio. We have listeners all over the world. People are downloading it. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, some of the topics spark discussion. I mean, of course, today's discussion, and we're talking about the Mandela effect, and basically, just basically what it means to be a researcher and be connected to this, and also the reactions to some people who are not affected, but your reaction if you're affected and you're trying to talk to somebody who is not affected, and that's even a complete different situation. It's a complete different experience, and each group of people are experiencing two different experiences at the exact same time. And, that's amazing in itself. Some people who are born in Australia are affected, and they're like, well, it used to be the land down under, now it's kind of not. But it's funny because some people remember it always being located where it is. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, so we as humans are curious creatures, and as these things present themselves, they make us more hungry for answers. I mean, we look at a puzzle, and all these different pieces are scattered about on the table. I mean, I'm one of those kids. I don't care if it's a 300 piece, 500 piece, 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 piece puzzle. If all those pieces are scattered out on the table, I look at it and then maybe find one or two pieces and put it together. The next thing you know, another piece, and another group of pieces, and another group of pieces over here get put together, another group of pieces over there get put together, and next thing you know, I notice I'm sitting down, I'm putting this puzzle together. No matter how big it is, I'm just putting this puzzle together. No real reason why. I mean, I just noticed that I was able to do it. I mean, there's pieces here, there's pieces there, they match. No, this don't match, this match. Let me set this to the side. It don't match anything, but it matches the pieces that's connected to it now. I mean, and all these puzzle pieces right there. There's no real reason that you're attracted, but you're attracted. And you want to put the puzzle together because you're curious to see, what the picture is or what it becomes at the end. What is it trying to tell you? And, most humans are curious like that. I mean, not all humans. Some people walk past that table, see all them puzzle pieces, like, oh, that's a mess. They're not curious. Matters not to them once those pieces come together to form. It means nothing. It's just a mess. It needs to be cleaned up. It's in a way, perfectly good table. So, it's incredibly frustrating when you don't have everybody on the same page working together towards the same goal. Everybody's moving in different directions. In the end, it becomes chaotic. And that's kind of what we're up against. We're up against the agents of chaos. They create chaos. And we don't even know who they are, you know, because sometimes you give they too much credit, you know, because I spend so much time searching for intelligent life. And it's incredible how little intelligent life exists. And when I say intelligent life, I mean truly intelligent life. Like, you could drop a person down in the middle of nowhere and they'd be like, well, okay, let's start off here. I'm nowhere. And let's start off from there, and I'll try to work my way back. I'll try to do, you know, it's not, it's not the end of the world. You got some people you'll drop off right there in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, it's the end of the world. Really, it's just down the street. Just have to walk down the street and, you're home. You just never been that way. So that's what we do. We walk down the street and we see what's there. We put the puzzle pieces together. We sit down at the table and we take the time. When other people see a mess, we see pieces. We see order in the middle of chaos, and we, construct calmness, order, make sense of the senseless. So what does the Mandela effect mean? I could tell you one thing. It meant one thing a long time ago. When I first started studying it, it meant that something happened. Something very incredible. I called it the greatest event in human history. But over my years of researching this topic, I've learned more. I learned that not only did something happen, something is happening. This is a continuing, occurring event that's ongoing right now. As in, we've had changes and we're changing currently on top of the changes. So I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, we're researching the changes of the changes. So if you see how complicated that is, I mean, if you say, okay, this changed, then I need to try to explain this first change to you. Then the first change. And now you're looking at the first change, and it's a third change. And before you can even comprehend the second change, another change happened. And this is an ongoing event. And in order for us to understand it, we have to really get fast with our knowledge. We have to be able to take all this information in fast. We have to think on a quantum level. We have to bring it all in a lot faster. We got to bring it out faster. We got to discuss it faster because, it don't make no sense to discuss what happened in our past if our past is so many passes away. I know that's hard to say. It is hard to say. So many passes away. Wow. But this is a level that has to become acceptable, and we have to understand that, okay, if it is multiple realities and we're falling or moving through all these multiple realities, it's currently happening, then we have to be able to discern, the difference between one reality versus another reality. You're talking to one person versus another person, and the Mandela effect becomes less complicated for you, a lot more complicated for someone who's trying to understand it, who may not be affected by it. It's people who are living there and it literally doesn't affect them. At all. I know it's hard for you to fathom that, but it's true. There's a lot of things that you can't fathom that you're going to have to learn how to fathom. It's almost get with the program. Get with the program now, because the program happens no matter what. It's moving forward whether you understand it or not. So it's in your best interest to understand, And I tell that to everybody, so your level of understanding, and when you cut yourself off or wherever you say, okay, that's enough, I need to go to work, or I need to go to school, or I need to go to sleep, or wherever it is that you do, to get away from reality. Understand that reality changes, snatched, moved, kidnapped, blow away. The reality's created. You know, it's, beyond your comprehension. Okay, that's fair. But I tell people that if you're a human, nothing should be beyond your comprehension. Just your sheer fact that you're a human should, open awareness and force you to ask questions, tough questions that need to be answered, in your lifetime, in order to quantify your existence. Why do I exist? Justify your existence. Or just walk blindly throughout time. For some people that's acceptable. And that's fine. I'm not a judger of men or women. I'm just someone who sees a little bit more. And right now I'm seeing the Mandela effect. I'm looking at the changes in everything. I mean, is it Starbucks or is it Starbucks coffee? Well, I'm kind of long now. So, Jiffy, or Jif. I mean, could be either, could be either, could be neither. That's the whole thing about it, It's stranger than Doctor Strange. But right now, this is the world we live in, and we're going to have to get used to it. So, the Mandela effect, history of giants, and giant skeletons, giant structures, it's a new world. Or is it? So, we're learning, we're seeing, we're growing as human beings. Interquantumly tangled. Yes. I am not a scientist, I told y'all. Even though I study science, I mean, I may have a little bit of more awareness than the average lay person. And I'm still learning. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a particle physicist. Is that what they call it? But anyway, we're going to continue to study this subject, and we got way deeper when it comes to this subject. So we got a lot more shows coming up, so just look for the Mandela Effect, Darkskies podcast. So it's fun trying to figure out our place in this. Maybe you just have to take your place, earn your place. It is what it is. But right now, my place is here. Right now. I'm your host, L.C. Graves. Thanks for joining us. And we have more shows coming up later on. Keep your ear to the street, eye to the sky. Can you do that? Can you actually keep your ear to the street and your eye to the sky at the same time? Wow. Pretty talented. But anyway, thank you. See you next time.